Hello, PMs. Welcome back to another episode of the Fireside PM podcast. I've been working with a lot of coaching clients recently, looking for new opportunities as PMs, and they're kind of surprised at how long it's taking them to land their new gig. I think these are a unique kind of segment of PMs who have a lot of great credentials and experience, but they're not getting the offers nearly as quickly as they used to. And I think it's partly because there's a hierarchy of product management hiring manager needs that in the old days, if you had fulfilled a certain number of them, most of those requirements, offers would come. But now that we're in 2024 and it's a little bit of a different time, it's a little bit harder. And so let me just show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see in this diagram here, uh, most of the time, if you had met the bottom of the hierarchy of needs, you actually are eligible for offer consideration. And the TLDR is that it's a lot harder to get an offer without completing almost the entire hierarchy of needs in today's day and age. So let's just go through from the bottom up what we're talking about. So, basic competencies is at the very bottom. So, analytical skills, customer insights, strategy, quantitative reasoning, communication skills. Oftentimes in like the most bullish markets, if you have those, even if you may not even have PM experience, you might be able to land a PM gig. The next level up is, great credentials. So, classic would be an undergraduate degree in computer science and an MBA from a top program, or those kinds of credentials that just kind of give the hiring manager a little more peace of mind. Then next level up is PM experience, for sure. Oh, you know what? They've been a PM for many years. They've shipped a bunch of stuff. Like, that's great. And then manager chemistry. The hiring manager, they get along with you. You could see yourself working with them, vice versa. In 2021, if you had all of that dark gray stuff at the bottom, so you had the basic competencies, you had some decent credentials, you had some PM experience, and you got along with the hiring manager, maybe 30% chance you might get an offer. Then in 2022, we kind of started raising the bar. So you would need all of that stuff. And then we'd say, hey, do they have vertical experience in the specific area that I need to hire for this role? So they were maybe less open to hiring generalists or people with related but not kind of perfectly matched domain experience. That was a factor. Then on top of that, it's like, oh, well, yeah, they have PM experience. Do they have PM experience at, a brand name organization that is known for being very successful or selective or both? It doesn't have to be like a big tech name. It could be kind of a blue chip venture-backed startup or whatever. And then beyond that, then with the change in return to office stuff, location became more important. You remember in 2021, like you could be in Hawaii and get job offers. And then beyond that, oh, someone on the team used to work with them, so you've got a first party reference. And that was kind of 2022, 2023, where you really kind of had to have everything. And now that we're in 2024, the bar seems to be even higher still, where it's like, okay, yes, you've got the competencies, the credentials, the experience, good chemistry, you've got domain experience, you've worked at teams that they're familiar with, you're can be co-located, someone, in the organization or maybe even in the team is a reference for you. But now there's so many great candidates in the market that the number of applicants per role is probably an order of magnitude higher than it was a few years ago. So, like, you might be hiring for a PM, and maybe in the old days, the recruiter would look at 30 or 40 candidates, and then you would interview maybe 5 or 10 of them, and you'd make, an offer. It's not uncommon now for the recruiter to maybe look at over 100, 200 applicants, of which maybe you interview 20, and you still might only make one offer. And so that means that not only do you have to have all of the stuff at the bottom and the middle of the triangle, now you really have to be the number one stack rank candidate. They might have 5 or 10 people that meet all of the triangle, all the blue and the gray. And they're like, okay, well, let's make an offer to the one that we're most excited about, candidate number one. And if that's you, great. If not, if you're number two, you might have the same outcome as number 100, because number one may take the offer, and the process starts all over again. Even if you are the top ranked candidate, number one spot, you still have to make sure that the hiring manager still has that head count. So in today's day and age, they might have opened the role a few months ago when they thought they had the head count, and now that head count got pulled back, it got redeployed to another area. They might be doing some belt tightening, and so they're like, wow, should we bring in new people if we might have to do some reductions in force later on. So long story short, if you are a PM and you're looking for a new role, like, you're probably going to want to budget maybe 6 to 12 months to find your next gig, even if you've got all the boxes ticked. The other thing is that you may also want to be more selective about the roles that you're applying for. In the old days, you might apply for a role where you don't have direct experience, but you've got solid credentials, you have a track record for success, you're a fast learner, yada yada. You could still apply, but you should just know that there's probably going to be a lot of applicants who fill all of the triangle, and you might fill 90% of it. And then in that stack rank, you might be number 7, and they're only going to make 1 or 2 offers. That's the other thing. The yield for a hiring manager is much higher, such that if they make someone an offer, the likelihood of that offer landing is far higher than it might have been in the old days. In the old days, and I'm just talking about 2-3 years ago, a typical company may make an offer, and maybe it would be accepted, 30-40% of the time, and that would be considered okay. I think in today's world, given how much talent there is on the market and how there aren't as many roles as there were relative to the talent, a hiring manager makes an offer, they are more than likely going to see that offer accepted if it's a decent offer. And so they're not going to go to slot number 2 or 3. So because of all of this, just, kind of gird yourself and be patient. One other thing I could share with you is that I've seen the PM hiring markets come and go for over the last 20 years. And, we're in a little bit of a valley right now, but it'll come back. And who knows, maybe a year or 2 from now, we'll be making a different video on how to decide between, the 5 or 10 offers you're getting per week. So hopefully this was helpful. And if you want any help with practice interviews or evaluating different opportunities or anything about your PM career, you can always reach out to me, and I'd be happy to provide some assistance. Have a great day, and see you next time.